Not one, not two, but three. Three black flashes in an episode. Dude, I mean, this episode was absolutely sick. I was waiting for this specific manga panel to get animated. Holy moly. You know, you animators over there at Mappa, you're doing quite the justice. And for those who have not, first of all, wait, let's just give a shout out to Mappa real quick. Like the animators, of course. You know, still all of our energy going to that whole thing getting sorted out, which I still can't make a true comment on because I don't even understand. I just know that they're going to get paid less or something is trying to go into effect. They're trying to pay their animators less. Look, summon the power of your cursed energy and not let this happen. Anyways, but seriously, they are doing justice under the work conditions that are going on right now. Now, with that said, let's get into the video. Let's get into this video. I'm going to put timestamps down below because I actually realized how easy it is to put timestamps. Dude, I feel so slow for having been doing YouTube this long. I just realized that literally in every editor, the timeline shows the point at which cut. Man, I've been editing for years, bro. What is wrong with me? So it's literally simple. So this actually helps with my style because if people who know me and watch me, you know I ramble for a long time. So now I just allow you to click to the part where you want to hear me ramble. Anyways, that's it for the intro. Thanks for watching and clicking on the video. Again, Jujutsu Kaisen. If you haven't seen this episode specifically, go and watch it to refresh your mind before we get into what we're going to talk about. There will be no spoilers. I will actually say something that is very, very small, but it's not technically a spoiler. And I think it was supposed to be in the episode, but honestly, it doesn't even matter. Let's just hop in. If you enjoyed, subscribe, share the video, you know, all that good stuff. Anyways, peace out, or well, peace in, because you're good. Well, peace out to this version of me, the intro version of me. You're gonna get into the okay. So I just want to say this right now, Mahito. Now Mahito. So I can't talk about certain things that are manga related, but I just want to say something. I hope this puts in perspective how good and evil works, right? All the episode names on Crunchyroll. I just want people to truly peep what they're trying to say, or what Jujutsu, what Gege, and just this whole concept of right and wrong, two sides of the same coin, blah blah. You know, Mahito is fighting his war while Yuji is fighting his war. But it goes back to what I said. It's the same thing. They're two sides of the same coin. That's why Mahito is saying you are like me. A lot of people go, like, you know, from a lot of people that I've seen in the past go, oh yeah, well duh, that's like elementary with this stuff. But I'm like, no, people don't actually treat this type of knowledge and information like it's elementary, because that simple story between right and wrong like literally plays into many things that you need to transcend in your mind on Earth or in your everyday life. I'll come back to that in a second. But Mahito's display is freaking amazing. So I want to say something real quick. Do you see how, okay, this is actually the spoiler, so let's get this out of the way. It's not big, don't worry, don't click off, it's not crazy. In the manga, I don't know if it happens in the next episode we're about to have this week, or it happened already, but I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, that the, you know, narrator says that the Black Flash does not choose who to bless. And now this is going to be this whole play on what I mean from right and wrong. So the whole thing, Sukuna, all of this, I can't get into Sukuna because I'll definitely like spew out a spoiler. But the purpose of Mahito, the episode opening with him landing the Black Flash, is you know, in the manga literally saying that the Black Flash doesn't choose who to bless is basically showing you that it doesn't. It's this battle that I always have when it comes to meeting people who say they're open-minded and spiritual, is the simple fact that there is nothing above you judging whether you can go into the flow state, whether you can be connected to the divine. And that's what I say. I love the display of Sukuna and what they are hinting at in the anime with Sukuna, with truly being a divine character and his techniques being truly divine. I'm not going to spoil, but you see what they're hinting at. But to the watcher, because, you know, we've been trained, and I'll say we, because for me, I've kind of, as a kid, always had this idea of like right and wrong and good and evil, and I've always seen it as two sides of the coin. But there's a lot of people who watch these animes that are immediately rooting for the bad guy to fall, the bad guy, the bad guy, the bad guy. But it's like you couldn't even have that perspective if you didn't have the bad guy. So I feel like y'all see what I'm saying. So where I'm going with this with Mahito and this whole right and wrong and how they're naming the episodes and everything, it's like they're showing the perspectives, and you can pick that up for yourself. I really hope I don't have to explain that. But why I find it so beautiful is that Mahito, him going into the flow state and landing the Black Flash, and then he brings out 120% of his potential. You have to understand that Jujutsu Kaisen does it well in a way where it's like, not like, I feel like in something like Dragon Ball Z, you know Naruto is gonna win. You know the good guy is going to beat the bad guy eventually, right? But in this, they're showing that in war, both sides lose. So it's a lose-lose for both sides. And it's basically like, I don't know, it gets to deeper things that I don't want to get into. But I love that Mahito is literally out here taking Yuji's friends right in front of him. Like, he's just seeing people die. And that goes to show you the good guys are not always going to win. And Mahito is an absolute menace that needs to be taken out. But what you understand is Mahito is riding a high right now. And he actually has a soul technique. So you have to hit this mofo with techniques that attack the soul. So it's literally like this dude understands the concept of the soul, and that's why I think Mahito is a really beautiful character, because so the random cut that you may have experienced is because I was about to spoil something, so I'll bring it back. But let's just move on from that. The whole thing is Mahito is definitely a runner-up for Sukuna if you understand his adaptability and everything, for you anime-only watchers. And he's just dangerous because he has transcended past a part of his mind that thinks something is judging him. From his perspective, he's a curse. Like, he's a curse, and of course, curses are born out of humanity, blah, 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 the emotions. We all know this is all going with chakras and shadow stuff and shadow work. Gege is awesome for incorporating this all into power systems and explaining it in different ways, but it's just cool to me. So going back to Mahito, it's like there is no divine being above Mahito that is judging his actions. He feels like he is doing what is right. He is impressed and amazed within his abilities. I would even argue to say, which I can't bring up because of this is future Sukuna, so I can't say anything, but I just want to say this. I think that, I don't know if any other creators on the platform have said it before, but I truly think that, I think Mahito is a little bit stuck within his ego, but what they're displaying is that he's basically transcending his ego, and that's the whole metamorphosis thing. It's like he's getting into this flow and kicking it into high gear, as Toto said at the end of the episode, because he's truly going into the flow state, but he was really feeling the potential of his soul. He was cultivating that. I think in Mahito's mind, which I can't really say because I'm not a Mahito, but that he was literally transcending the fight itself. It was just, he was just in the now. That's it. He was in flow. He was really getting in, and yeah. And I can't say more on that, but because I will make a mistake, I definitely feel it coming. So I didn't totally spoil it when I cut the footage, but if you pay attention to what I said, it did spoil something, but it wasn't a direct spoiler. You would have to go and hear back like the way I said a sentence, and then it was like, oh, that spoiled something. So let's just say that. But all I want to say is the display of Mahito like leveling up in his head, which you know how they usually say the villain has a really good like outlook on stuff. It's like the way I want to say the takeaway from Mahito is that level of confidence in his own abilities and how he was basically getting high off of his own skills should 100% be the mentality that you have in real life without losing your mind to the point where it's like an ego obsession where you literally think you're better than others. And that's where I said that Mahito kind of went off the rails, but he was still transcending his current mindset. Because I mean, earlier when you see this dude, he's built to be a character you don't like when he's just a menace, but you have to applaud his mindset because he literally feels unstoppable, which is leading into what we're going to get in the next episode. For you anime only watchers, I'm not going to say anything, but you can see what got him there. Definitely a dangerous dude that needs to get taken out. But at the same time, if you remove your human thinking and moral thinking from it, which is still concept, like, your own morality and stuff is a, human thought, you can see the absolute master of his craft that he is becoming. Now, with that said, that Black Flash was insane. I loved it. When I went back to see the fight in the manga to get ready for the panel to see it animated, oh, dude, that run up and he was yucks. I don't know if that's how you really pronounce it, but he was yucks. He hit the box. Oh, man, bro. It was just disrespectful, and it was just so clean. But we got other people to get into, so I can't stay here too long. Okay, so I want to hop into this part to just talk about quickly about just the animation, the fight, and everything. It was beautiful from, seeing the scene with Toto coming in and clapping. You see him using Boogie Woogie and all of that, and switching with Yuji, and oh man, it was just great. I like the way the animation style that Mappa goes for, or the animators go for, in Jujutsu Kaisen is almost like this rough and rugged and scratchy type of animation style. I don't know if that comes from older. I'm sure you could probably find the origin of like the inspiration from it, but it's such a beautiful style of like this. It's like really, like, you know what I'm saying, like scratchy and stretch, especially stretched, no pun intended with Mahito, but it's this style that bends and like in the fast motion, it's like there will be scenes of really detailed scenes, undetailed scenes, really detailed, undetailed, not like what felt like in Demon Slayer to compare, where it was just every single shot felt like a cinematic masterpiece sort of thing. This is like its own masterpiece in a way different way. It's like some shots be cinematic and then rough, and then oh man, it's just the way it blends together with like the high action fight. Oh man, it's just the fast speed pacing of the fights and just what scenes they pick to have high definition, which is, I'm assuming, the ones that are not anime only, the like little anime only sections where it like goes into the actual manga panel that they're following. It's just beautiful. It's just all so synchronistic and delicious, and it's eye candy. And bro, like the next episode, but like I just can't wait for what's to come because of just where we're at in the manga. I just can't wait. But yeah, so I want to give a whole shout out to, I like how they did the credits this time, where it got to the end of the credits and that's around where Toto's little Black Flash goes on and the music was going, but the episode was still playing. It's like literally like the episode itself was breaking the fourth wall. Other animes have done this, but I just thought it was so cool how Jujutsu Kaisen did it this time. Like Mahito just, talking his shit, and then he friggin' throws up the stuff, and then just starts getting even more into like, it's like kicking you into the next. It built the hype up so much for what's to come, and it's just like Mappa. It's just good. So I wanted to throw all that out. The syncing up with the music, like Toto. We're gonna get to the parts like Toto running through the little the curse train. I always want to call it like a meat train. I feel like Mahito is like the master of meat. Pause. But you know what I'm saying? It's just good. It's really good. And like, man, we're gonna get into Yuji and Toto in a second. So I wanted to just get that out of the way. I think the synchronization with the music, the art style that Map has gone for the entire, like, kicking it up since season 2 popped off, you know, with the background of Geto and Gojo and just all of this, all the animation has just been, and it's just been amazing. And dude, I can't say anymore. It's just, to me, it's just been so golden. They're doing so much justice to these scenes. At least I feel. You know, it's all personal, but I feel like they're doing just such justice to give you sort of like, I don't know. I do know, but I know that if I keep going, this part could stretch to like 20 minutes of me explaining the like when Toto walks up to Yuji and Yuji takes his little fighting pose like this, he's like got his hand like this already, and then you got Toto walk up and he rips his shirt off and he's like, you know, like, let's go, and then they start kicking into high gear. It's just, but I want to talk about Yuji and Toto separately real quick, so let's get to those parts. But man, beautiful display. Okay, so to wrap this up real quick, I think I'm just going to throw Toto and Yuji together so this isn't an insanely long video, but I love how they showed the end, basically, when it was Yuji, Toto, and Mahito all in, like, drawing out 120% of their potential. That was sick. They basically did the straight call to the manga colored version with some little sparkly freaking action lines going up the side of it with their colors. It's badass. To couple in Yuji and Toto, I like that Yuji is like drawing. I want to say this for people. I'm not gonna throw that in here because I don't know. But I like, you know what? Screw it. I like how Yuji talked to Nanami at that point before he landed his, or was it? Yeah, before he landed the Black Flash. I think that's the order of it. Is he said, you know, like, I'll take on your suffering, and then did he throw it, or did he said it after? But I don't remember the order, Jesus. But you know the part I'm talking about, right? When Toto clapped, he boogie woogied Yuji in front of Mahito to deliver a smackdown breakage nuclear bomb tactical landing to Mahito, busting his arm open. That was sick. Right there at that point, I love the detail of them just dripping the tears, and then him just drawing all that power into his Black Flash. That was just so sick. And I love how Mahito is just when he was banging with Toto, the voice actor, oh my gosh, that's what I didn't even touch on that. At least I'll touch on that in this part, so I'll get it out the way. The voice acting in this part for Mahito's voice actor, especially like when he was sticking out his tongue at times or taunting them, bro, I go back and watch that so much. It was so clean. Getting back to Yuji, yeah, I liked how they showed like him channeling the emotions, really like getting into like the flow and landing the Black Flash back on Mahito. And we all know Yuji's got the double sort of hit impact going on, divergent fistacular shit going on. So, you know, Mahito, it cannot get hit by those Johns. So then you got Toto's Black Flash, which that's basically what I want to talk about because they're like the key moments. His boogie woogie, like, you really get to see, I feel like his boogie woogie in action here against the whatever tree motherfucker. It didn't feel too like you got to truly see, because Gojo came in and cock blocked, but now you get to see like Todo really stepping into high gear, because of course he ends up landing the Black Flash. So I feel like when they're getting into that combat flow state, that they're leading up to land the Black Flash, and Todo's display of it was absolutely amazing the way they did it, because all of this can be summed up like this, and I know some people might want to disagree with me. Go ahead and disagree. But the way they go into the Black Flash or the flow state, blah, 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 emotions, all of that, it all goes back to the 7 chakras. That's exactly why they showed a rainbow. And I can't say this because that cannot be true, but it synchronistically, oddly lines up with the 7 chakras in your body. When Todo started to say, you know, do you want to leave your brother behind? And he's, you know, hyping himself up, and he's, you know, he's flying forward, and then his body starts shaking, and it starts showing the outlines of him in different colors, which RGB, they show all the colors of your chakras, and it all culminates together and ends up going into him charging up the Black Flash. You know, his eyes flash red, and they did Todo's Black Flash so sick, so freaking sick. I feel like Yuji's, I guess we're so accustomed to Yuji landing the Black Flash, he didn't get anything flashy, but I think the emotion, I really felt that when he was, you know, tearing up and he's trying to have that emotional control. You know, he's got traumatized in like the last 3 episodes. So it's just, there's a lot of emotion there. So that was still done very well. And he sent Mahito to flying. So, but showing Todo tapping into his potential was sick, because he's like, am I gonna leave my brother behind? Like, me, you know, Aoi Todo or whatever. Am I really gonna leave him? Nah. Like, and then he just unlocks that part of his mind that's just, you know. And what's funny with them saying like the Black Flash can't be done intentionally, it's like, I think we need to throw that under the rug. In real, let's say if we apply real things in like meditation, you know, stopping blockages, like getting rid of blockages in your aura and your chakras or whatever, we can say that it can be intentionally done. It's just like, you know, for story purposes, it's like an unconscious thing. I can't truly remember what the details were. I'm trying to remember exact details on what the Black Flash was, but regardless, it's going into the flow state. So you can see how it was like a culmination of all emotions, that he didn't want to slack and leave Yuji behind, and just like all with the flashing images of them talking about like their memories together, and them talking about their type of girls, and he just, all of that rushed and culminated into one solid ass kick to Mahito's neck, boy. And I loved it because that's like what it is. It's like, that's what it like almost truly, they're, you know what? Stop it. Just say it. They're doing a visual representation of what it feels like when those motherfuckers are animating these fucking episodes, and a visual representation of what it feels like probably for people who are in sports like MMA and things like that. Like, I remember recently watching Israel Adesanya talk about like the flow state and things like that, and like they were asking him if you think it's spiritual. Of course. But you know, like, what I mean is just, it's very funny to see it displayed in different things, and to see it in Jujutsu Kaisen, the way they explain, like, kind of lining up and bringing out your flow. It's just, I feel like it's just such a close representation to what it is. And I think that stems from curses and cursed energy being born out of the emotions of humans. It's so close to what you study in occult studies. That's all I'm just gonna throw it out there. But anyways, with that said, I think Todo's display of how he went into the Black Flash was perfect, because they showed the colors. And I feel like truly, if you get into a meditation, you know what I'm talking about, when you just hit that zone and it feels like you opened every goddamn chakra at the same time. I feel like that's what they were displaying here. Again, that's how I interpreted it. It's all art, but you know, it's all up for interpretation. But it was him basically going into the flow, and he became like a shooting star, which that is what I also think the representation of Yuji throwing the rock and then it turning into the universe and all that. he became a star. So it's like all the colors, up to you to decide. But I think his Black Flash was sick, and then of course Mahito doubling down on being a menace after that was just sick. He's just like, it doesn't matter if your techniques can't hit my soul. Now time to kick it up a notch. So, man, beautiful, and that's really it. And yeah, and I would like to give a special thanks to y'all if you've made it this far in the video. I really love just talking about the episodes and losing my mind on the microphone. And truthfully, I think Jujutsu Kaisen is one of those anime/mangakis. Manga/animes that there's so much to learn from it. There's so much to learn from it. If you want to know deep in your like heart what's going on, I feel like the way Gege was channeling, man, because a lot of what they, especially what's to come too, what they talk about and show, you realize are really drawn from inspiration in real life, which is like, of course, like every anime, like Naruto, Chakra, Dragon Ball Z, all like the spirit, all of that. It's just, I just like how Jujutsu Kaisen did it for me, and on my journey, I feel like it's one of the best ways ever shown in an anime, which could be hyping it, but I don't care. How mentality plays such a role in everything, even Gojo being like he is the enlightened one, blah blah blah. And again, I cannot tell y'all any spoilers from the manga, but when you see Sukuna, I want to get y'all hyped. So when you see Sukuna for truly who he is, and for those of you who've already been spoiled by the manga, it's like when you see what he's saying in the manga, it's like that shit is a curveball. I don't even think creators on the platform, and this isn't like, anytime I say that, it's not calling out anyone or saying anyone is wrong. Everyone's perspective is their own thing and how they felt about it, but I truly think a lot of people are missing what Sukuna stands for. And I can't go into too much detail until we get future on that point, or I just make a video dedicated to it, which I already technically have. I've talked about Sukuna's mindset and things, and let's go off of the Maharaga fight that they just shown in the anime. His adaptability is insane. Like, Maharaga is the divine general Maharaga. So, Sukuna's saying that, maybe you could have beat me how I was back then. I think he was talking about Fushiguro. I don't know if he was talking about the summoned spirit itself, unless it was like literally roaming the earth, but talking about Megami beating him back then because the 10 Shadows technique is cracked, all that stuff. It's like, you got to think of how insane Sukuna must truly be to basically beat a being that's damn near divine, that basically adapts to your cursed technique. And then another thing I just want to shout out for people who do know what happened in the manga and everything to come is that, I just want to say, did it shock anyone that Sukuna is literally 1,000 years old? So in all that time, I need some water. I've been shooting so many videos lately, but did it really shock anyone that someone with 1,000 years of experience wasn't super freaking destructive and powerful, and kind of probably had, okay, so how Gojo has the 6 eyes and it can process information super fast, and he had his whole enlightenment where he freaking seen the beginning of cursed energy and all that. I was like, do you think a dude who doesn't have the 6 eyes but has 1,000 years of, knowledge, he wasn't as strong as fuck? And yeah, that's all I'll say. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe and share the video if you enjoyed. I'm getting out of here, and thanks for watching as always. Peace out. for you here. This is the end of the video. Now, you can either subscribe, or you can leave, or you can stay and subscribe. Or this will be the last time we meet, or maybe not. Maybe we're meeting again. Maybe you just decided to let the video play all the way through. Maybe I don't want to think about that. I hope you enjoyed. I'm out of here.